It's Melanie Lutz, and this is Mel's Loveland. We are in our next 100 Days of Love based on the book, Mel's Loveland, where we consider the possibility that there is another way to do things with love. So we have a next 100 days of love. In any process and commitment, we have been creating a field of loving possibilities. And those possibilities are truly what we call shifts in perception. And so as you're building into 100 days, a field of possibility, a crew, a posse of people also contributing to that field of possibilities, what you have is a shift in perception. You start to consider the possibility that love is actually greater than fear. So all of us have been in this really loving container. And when I say today, day 23, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, I am saying unequivocally that we are absolutely here to shine, to recognize our existence in the world as a beam of light and love. And that's what we're extending and offering as we open our hearts. And I don't know, I thought today I could actually read a little bit from the book, and this came out of my own process, probably 10 years ago, of hearing a voice and then saying, hey, I'm going to consider the possibility that there's another way to look at this. For the next 100 days, I'm going to consider the possibility that I'm going to think about peace and not war. I'm going to consider what it's like to not focus on what drives me crazy about people, but to consider what it is I love about that person and to work my medicine from that point of view. And so writing for 100 days, which was my instruction for this effort for the Mel's Loveland, to consider this possibility of what love would do, I had to break it into a few parts because I don't necessarily have the most linear, process in everything that I do. So I created this kind of series of segments, if you will. So some of the writing is here for you to consider. So it's for your consideration. And for your consideration came from, obviously, the entertainment business, where it's like it's Oscar season and it's time to consider. This is for your consideration. We're offering this up to say, hey, you might have missed this, but for your consideration, here's what we got for you. And it's the best of the best. So for your consideration. And then there's an awakening piece of love, which is I was sleepy, but now I'm alive, I'm present, boom, heartbeat, boom. I'm alive to and awake and available for what love has to bring me in this moment. So, and then there's loving thoughts to remember, and then there's a prayer. So the chapters have 4 parts. It's truly relevant as we talk for the first time at day 23 about our little light, our light that extends as a beacon. My light greets the light in you, etc. So it is a universal principle of light and love that has been born out of many traditions. And you just kind of ask yourself in each encounter, in each thing that comes up, you just take your moment and you go, oh, that came in, I'm processing that. Is this a message that's meant for me? And as you practice this, you take a beat and you say, wow, is this a message that is meant for me? And as soon as you come into the center of your being, as you recognize you are light, you'll get some answers to that question. And if it is, wow, this is not for me, you allow it to drift away. And that really is the core of loving ourselves, in being able to recognize this has arrived for me to receive. And in that energetic way, this has been brought forward, and it's not at this time. And it is not here for the highest and best for me. And therefore, I allow it to be returned with so much love. To allow ourselves to be in process with a love land that we're creating, where there's possibilities that are abounding for all of us. We're joined on this Mel's Love Land Next 100 by our sister in Panama, Virago, cosmic musician.
And now she guides the shining, reflecting in my reverent
never dies, never dies. Burn the stake, not the witch. We'll burn the stake now in the blessed fire of our sacred heart. And I am born again, in time again, as promised, as prophesied. And there will be no more lies, no more lies. And I do hear holy voices, and I do make my own choices, and I do love men and